Hey folks, it's Abby from Abby of Pellinor, long time no see, and today I'm going to be going through my May TBR. It's been so long I can't even speak. So I've not filmed in a long time, so please excuse the fact that it's going to be weird. It's always weird. But yes, so I have set myself a May TBR. I don't have any readathons or anything that I'm doing this month. I'm reading all by myself, apart from the Illumicrate book, so let's dive straight in. I'm going to go straight in first with the two books I don't physically have with me, because otherwise I'll forget about them. One of them is The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I have never read any of the Lord of the Rings books whatsoever, so I want to listen to this by audiobook. There is a free audiobook available on Spotify, and my work computer has Spotify on, so sorted. I can listen to that when I'm at work. So yes, The Hobbit, if you don't know, is the prequel story to the Lord of the Rings trilogy, all about a very high fantastical world. If you've read any fantasy, you probably have read themes that are in this. Dragons, dwarves, I don't know, hobbits. Ta-da! And then the other book, I can't remember the name of, shit. Please tell me I wrote it down. The other book is coming in the Goldsborough SFF box. Wild and Wicked Things, apparently. I wrote it down, thank you, previous Abby. Wild and Wicked Things is going to come in the Goldsborough box. I'm not sure when it's turning up. It is the next day and the book arrived. It is stunning, so I had to show you guys. So Wild and Wicked Things by Francesca, which is a British author. Look at the edges. Oh. That's it. This is the clip. It's so pretty. And I like to try and keep on top of them so that they don't just add on to my TBR, so that is also on the TBR. Now on to the physical books that I already have here. First up we have The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. I know next to nothing about this apart from the fact that I don't think the picture's in the book, because I just read The Book Jumper by Musketeers, and that mentions something about that. It's Wilde's only novel, and it is a puzzle intended to tease conventional minds with its exploration of the myriad interrelationships between art, life and consequence. I don't know. It's a pretty short book and I've tabbed it up so that I should hopefully get through it in about a week, and I'm looking forward to diving into this one. Then next up I want to read Graceling by Kristin Cashore. This is a fantastical series that is one of the classic YAs, and I've somehow never gotten around to reading it. So I bought all 4 books that are currently published and now I need to read them. Carrie from Caring for Books adores this series so much, and we both kind of have similar vibes for the books that we enjoy, so it would be nice to see if I enjoy this one too. This one is in a world where people born with an exceptional skill known as grace, they are both feared and exploited. Katza carries the burden of a skill even she despises, the grace of killing. Feared by the court and shunned by those her own age, the darkness of her grace casts a heavy shadow over Katza's life. Yet she remains defiant, and when she stumbles across a mysterious kidnapping, she investigates. Who would want to kidnap an old man, and why? And who was the extraordinary graced man whose fighting abilities rivaled her own? The only thing Katza is sure of is that she no longer wants to kill. The intrigue around this kidnapping offers her a way out, but something insidious and dark lurk behind the mystery. Something spreading from the shadowy figure of a one-eyed king. I've never actually read that synopsis before. Sounds pretty good. I was just like, okay, Carrie loves it. We'll see how I go. That's how I decide my reads. Then next up we have This Vicious Cure by Emily Suvada. This is the 3rd book in the This Mortal Coil series. One to be cautious about if you are concerned about Panini related activities. It's not the same, but it's in that realm, like in the Bull House. There is an infection, it makes people blow up, and they're trying to find a cure for it, and it's a sci-fi, a YA sci-fi dystopian. It's got genetic manipulation, and I adored the first 2 books. I'm so mad it's taken me so long to get to this one. I got the 2nd book as an ARC, and I read through both of them, and they were the first books in, I don't know, half a decade to make me stay up all night reading. So I'm very excited to finally read this 3rd book. I bought it for myself in February. So I've been holding off and now I'm gonna dive in. Then we have The Big Over Easy by Jasper Fforde. This is a companion series to the Thursday Next series, where our main character, Thursday Next, delves into literature, primarily classics to avoid copyright, and she interacts with the literary world, and that then interacts with her world, which is like a parallel to ours. Set in the 80s, they have dodos. This is a companion series, and it's set all around the nursery rhymes. So it's still the same concept of the general series, but instead delves just into the nursery rhyme side of things. So, you know, we can actually interact with different characters. Humpty Stuyvesant Van Dumpty III has been found lying beneath a wall in a shabby part of town. Humpty was one of life's good guys, so who would want him knocked off? And is it a coincidence that his ex-wife has just met with a sticky end down at the local biscuit factory? It's very British humour, and I'm very much looking forward to reading this. Why am I saying that? Of course I am, that's why I picked them all up. Railheart by Moira Young. This is the second book in the Blood Red Road trilogy. This is a YA dystopian set in the continental US, however many years in the future, as in like they just kind of find discarded piles of cars. This is written very differently. There are no quotation marks around speech, and the speech is written in a very heavy dialect, so it can take a little bit of time getting into. I remember that with Blood Red Road, but I'm filming this some way into the month, and I'm 150 pages in, and I've gotten used to it pretty quickly. This, so far, has been covering a decent amount of PTSD really well, so I'm very impressed with that, and is, you know, the standard dystopian plot, but so far I'm really enjoying how it's been carried out. Then The Three Musketeers by Alexandre Dumas. This is yet another classic that I would like to read and that I've already started. This was the one I was going to read until me and Livia decided, okay, we're going to read the Count of Monte Cristo together. Seeing as it's by the same author, I didn't want to read them both a chapter a day at the same time. I thought that would be just too confusing for my brain. Maybe it wouldn't have been, but I just thought I'd wait. Of course, we finished The Count of Monte Cristo now, so now I am reading a chapter of this every single day. If you don't know the story of this is basically three musketeers and a fourth young man go off on adventures, and there is apparently one of the best female villains of all time in this story, and I think we've already met her. I think. Another classic that will hopefully be off the list. I don't know if I read a chapter every day if I'll have that finished by the end of the month, but I'll at least be closer. Then we have my non-fiction for the month, which is Living Planet, The Web of Life on Earth by David Attenborough. This was originally published, I believe, in the 80s, the first edition of it. This is a revamped edition. It's not only updated with the science, but also Attenborough went through and changed the examples that he used, so of different species and of different environments. He altered them, so it is actually a different book, which I love, and now means I have to read the original one as well. I am 70 pages into this one and really enjoying it so far. This is totally up my street. And then the final book on my TBR this month is Portrait of a Thief by Grace D. Lee. This is I think it's a contemporary thriller, possibly, where 5 Chinese American individuals decide to go and steal back Chinese historical artifacts that have been placed in museums around the world, in the Western world, so, you know, like London, Berlin, New York, because colonialism, white people, the audacity. The concept sounds fantastic. This cover that was done by Lumicrate is so disappointing. But yes, so I've heard some mixed things. I've heard that some Asian Americans are saying, like, you've not explained why these people are so invested, it's not great representation of Asian Americans and of Chinese Americans. I don't know. I don't want to read too far into it until I've read the book because of spoilers, but I'm going to go in with an open mind. I'll see what I think, and then I will add in, of course, the thoughts of the people actually represented in this book. But the concept is fantastic, so there's at least that. And that is my stack of books that I want to read in May. It is not the biggest stack. I hopefully will manage to read more than just these, but I also don't want to push it too much now that I'm trying to get back into the swing of filming and editing and bookstagram and stuff after having some time off. I had time off for bereavement in my family, so thank you so much, guys, for sticking around when all of that was going on and for bearing with me just very sporadically posting shit all over social media. If you'd like to see some more from me, it should be a little bit more consistent from here on out again, so please do hit like and subscribe down below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!